They're creepy, they're kooky, they're altogether spooky, and they got a big screen adaptation. Let's go back to a simpler time in blockbuster history for the spooky season, where the only agenda was entertainment. It's fun for the whole family with a stellar cast in The Addams Family.
Hello there, you loose units, and welcome to Spicy Ball Review's Halloween edition. That's right, it is the month of Halloween, October, the greatest time of the year. And we're going back to an absolute classic, The Addams Family, released in 1991, directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, and this film was his feature film debut. But he did go on to direct Get Shorty, Men in Black, and Wild Wild West, just to name a few. We meet the Addams family, a macabre gothic family that live in a mansion with an outrageous hidden fortune that no one can explain how came to be. It seems the patriarch of the family, Gomez, is riddled with guilt and remorse as he and his brother Fester had a falling out 20 years ago, and Fester has been missing ever since. He passes the days away with doting on his wife Morticia, and having business dealings with a slimy lawyer, the Butabi brothers' dad, Tully, who is constantly looking to squeeze more money out of the Addams family. This is because he owes Lady Loan Shark Abigail copious amounts of moolah. But wouldn't you know it? Abigail has a creepy son by the name of Gordon, who is a spitting image of Uncle Fester. They all hatch a plan to insert Gordon into the Addams family mansion undercover to find this hidden outrageous fortune. At first, Gomez's judgment is clouded by the reuniting with his brother, and Gordon uses the excuse that he was lost in the Bermuda Triangle for 25 years. However, young daughter Wednesday is having none of it! She suspects this Fester may be a fraud and keeps a close eye on him. What ensues next is a farcical, quirky, snappy dialogue, riddled with hilarious jokes that land subtly, filled with parody and innuendo. As time passes, Fester, or should I say Gordon, begins to grow attached to the Addams family and is very reluctant to screw them over. Fair to say the shit does eventually hit the fan, and the Addams family is kicked out of their own mansion and Fester takes control of the property. Then we get a fish-out-of-water comedy, in the same vein as the Brady Bunch movie. But instead of out-of-touch cheesy 70s family inserted into grungy 90s, we get the gothic macabre version of fish-out-of-water fuckery in normality 90s. Then it's about 10 minutes before the end mark, and some morality bites Fester in the rump, and the bad guys get their comeuppance. I was alive and around when this film came out, and I distinctly remember being a huge deal. This film had an estimated $30 million budget and an opening weekend raked in around about $24 million. And overall, it grossed $191 million, give or take, so it's fair to say it was a bloody hit. And of course, 3 years later, it got a sequel. It came out at the perfect time to this film, when we were having sort of a Tim Burton-esque boom in cinema. It was a great time for movies for weirdo goth kids. I mean, look at the releases we got. Roughly around about this time, we had Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Hocus Pocus, The Crow, Sleepy Hollow, Death Becomes Her, and Nightmare Before Christmas, just to name a few. And the casting in this film is absolute perfection. Raul Julia and Angelica Houston were born to play these roles of Gomez and Morticia. Even when they were in pre-production for the streaming show of Wednesday, Angelica Houston was asked to reprise her role of Morticia. And reportedly, her response was, "Not without my Gomez." I'm not crying, you're crying! Because as many of you are probably aware, Raul Julia unfortunately passed away in 1994. And the chemistry between Raul Julia and Angelica Houston is absolutely off the charts. You really buy their love for one another on screen because, well, behind the scenes, both actors had so much love and respect for one another, and it bloody shows. And Christina Ricci is absolutely perfect as Wednesday Addams, no question. I know everyone goes absolutely nuts over Jenna Ortega as the character in her show, where Christina Ricci makes a cheeky cameo, I might add. But if you go back to the source material and the 60 TV show, Ritchie was the absolute perfect age and delivered a magnificent performance that is absolute perfection. Of course, Jenna Ortega is brilliant in the role, respectively, and her show focuses on Wednesday, I guess more later in life, where she's at boarding school, so it completely works. But the most insanely brilliant casting of this film is none other than Christopher Lloyd as Uncle Fester. You've got a very tall, slim actor playing a very infamously stubby, short, bald character. Whatever madman thought that this casting was a good idea, I salute you. Because I can't imagine Uncle Fester being played by anyone else. Because it seems like casting agents way back when had way more imagination and creativity. As a kid, I always thought this movie was a Tim Burton film, and you would be right in thinking that. With the set dressing and the look and feel of the film, the humour and the costumes respectively. Even the music sounds like it's Danny Elfman, who was actually done by Mark Shaman. Shout out! This film was the first big screen adaptation of the Addams Family since the 1964 TV show. Other than the 1977 made-for-TV movie, Halloween with the new Addams Family. And I've got to say, with this version, they completely knocked it out of the park. It has all of the heart of the original show, while also going with the times and hitting the mark coming out in the 90s. It was the perfect tone, look and feel. Since this film, of course, we got a direct sequel, a TV movie in 1998 starring Tim Curry. In the very same year of 98, we got 65 episodes of a rebooted TV show, an animated reboot in 2019 with its own sequel in 2021, and of course the show Wednesday in 2022. It's fair to say that the Addams Family is quintessential pop culture and is going to be around for a very long time. And it wasn't until 2022 when rival spooky family, The Munsters, got their big screen reboot directed by Rob Zombie. The heart of this movie, along with the TV show, is family, front row and centre. It's a tight-knit unit of misfits with a love of the dark, twisted and macabre, and although being very creepy people, have a deep love for one another. It's a perfect time, especially for kids who feel a bit weird and a bit of an outcast. But like all good wholesome stories, it's about love and family. Something, unfortunately, you don't see a lot of these days. A great movie, perfect for the whole family during the spooky season of Halloween, both for adults and kids. I highly recommend this film. It's a bloody good time for the spooky season. But anyway, guys, that's my cheeky little review of The Addams Family, the first of this Halloween reviews. Write down below if you've seen it, if you're a fan of this movie, but more importantly, what is your favourite Tim Burton-esque film of the 90s? And of course, you made it this far into the episode, please give me a thumbs up, because your love and support keeps me going, because I just love movies, and I assume you do as well. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe icon, because I give it an episode weekly. And I'll see you back here next week for the next review, but until then, stay spooky, kids.